Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Charlie, do you know why it's exciting to be Thursday?
Because it's time for another Hangout.
Because the two handsome people on the left side, right side? I don't know which side it is depending on which way you're watching it.
I don't know.
But man, those are two handsome looking men.
Indeed, indeed.
I'm very impressed.
Now, before we go any further, I would like to point out that I have a really swanky new Doctor Who t-shirt.
That is very cool.
Courtesy of Walmart.
Nice. I like the colors.
I know, I do. It's kind of like intergalactic looking.
Intergalactic planetary.
Ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific commenter himself, Zealeus. What's up? Now, you might notice that prolific commenter himself is not underneath there, because it turns out that is a long-ass title put under a picture. So we just went with co-host.
That works for me. I can handle the co-host.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right into it, shall we? Okay, so first of all, let's get a couple of things out of the way. And that, of course, is, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the conventions we're excited about going to in the near future. First one up, Big Fandom Greenville. Happening in Greenville, South Carolina, from November 17th to the 19th of this year. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not, this is going to be the second year. So it's not like, it's not like there's previous years. However, first year, awesome. Second year, gonna be awesomer. So it's gonna be a hell of a. It was a really fun ass time. The first go around, and they were basically still ironing out the kinks. So I only have hopes, dreams, and awesomeness going that way. So of course, once again, Ultra Confusion will be there. We will have a table, and we'll be doing panels. I'm not exactly sure what panels we're doing. I'm pretty sure it's the destruction of the game industry as we know it in video games today. But I can't really remember at this point. But I'm sure if we looked on the website, it'd probably tell us.
You got like 2 months, it's fine. Plenty of time.
Yeah. So anyways, seriously, Google Big Fandom Greenville to find out more information. It's going to be awesome. You can also see a list of all the guests that are showing up. And of course, yours truly is going to be there. So that's all the incentive you need.
Do you get to meet Cthulhu while you're there?
There's individuals who draw a hell of a Cthulhu. Actually, the gentleman behind this work of art right here, I believe I believe it's Dungeon Wares is his stuff. You may have seen in previous episodes, I have a shirt that's got a werewolf on a surfboard.
Yes,
he's done that. He's done a ton of art.
Nice.
Really cool stuff. So definitely check out him as well as
supporting your local artist.
Big Fandom Greenville. All right, so let's talk about the other convention that Zealeus and I are super excited about because it is back from its hiatus, and that of course is AndoCon. AndoCon, of course, is going to be happening March 9th through the 11th. Next year in Atlanta, Georgia, though technically I would think it's like Peachtree Corners.
It's technically Peachtree Corners, yes.
So, but here's the thing: AndoCon is not really like a video game convention. But if you love card games, pencil paper RPGs,
pen pencils,
board games,
or
the chance to maybe take some of these unpublished board games, card games, or RPGs for a spin before anyone else. This is the place to do it at. AndoCon, my friends. AndoCon is a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Zealeus and I, and probably Jesse, will be there. We've been requested to give panels from the man himself, Ando.
What?
So we'll give a panel or two. I'm not exactly sure what we'll present, but we'll be presenting. Of course, you'll see us buzzing around. But at the very bare minimum, you will see us in a media capacity with our camera trying to, we're definitely going to be recording the intro, the opening ceremonies.
Sure.
And of course, if we do a panel, we'll videotape that, as well as we might try to pull some of the game designers aside and get their 2 cents about that.
One of the things I really, and like Charlie said, you'll get to play some unpublished games. I know I've said it before, but I still love when you get to play with the designers of these new board games, and they're looking for input. There's a reason that they're there with basically the beta version of their game. It's because they want to know, like, okay, how are people who are playing board games interacting with my game? And I really like that part. It's really fun to play with them and kind of also, see their response to how do you do stuff. Sometimes you'll do like, play a card or move something. You can see like, I didn't think of that beforehand. I'm gonna have to tweak that.
And then that's kind of fun because the past couple times that I've played some of these games, you have individuals, the developers out there really do want your 2 cents.
Oh yeah, that's why they're there.
And if you actually, as long as you actually tell them what's going on, they love it.
Well, and AndoCon's also said many times, if you go to opening ceremonies or closing for that matter, Ando will talk about how he wants to have those indie developers there. That's partly why AndoCon does. No, why Ando does AndoCon is because of that local community of local developers. I mean, yes, you're going to have all your big games. You're going to have your Ticket to Rides, your Catans, and all those. Those are all there. But he really does it to hopefully pull in those indie local community developers, or nationwide possibly, to give them a chance to really show off their game. Absolutely. And that's why he loves to do it, and that's why I love doing it. And I mean, I'm going to be there for the board games, so, just whatever. So it's definitely a fun time, and you can also go. And the nice thing is you don't have to go there, necessarily with a group of people. Like when we went and we played Mergers and Acquisitions a couple of years ago, it's not like I wasn't seeking out to play an RPG. Right. We just saw an open table. It's like, let's give it a shot, see what happens. And next thing you know, it's like, dude, this game is fun. So that's the part that's cool about it. So definitely check out AndoCon.
And there's also, in the open gaming area, there's always people looking for one more person or someone who's willing to try a new game. Everyone's friends there. Ain't no one going to make fun of you for not knowing the rules for a certain game. Believe me, because I didn't know almost any of the games that we played. But everyone was very accommodating, and we had a hell of a lot of fun with all those games.
Yeah, and it's just a great community feeling. You're not going to be dealing with any. So one of my favorite conventions is Dragon Con. And I love it, but the weird thing that threw me off last year is they charge you an additional fee for going to play the board games. And my buddy and I were going there. It's like, let's check out the board games while my wife goes do something else. I'm like, sweet. They're like, yeah, it's extra $5 a person to rent out games. We're like, what? No. You go to AndoCon, you pay once, you get everything. And that's what I'm talking about.
So wait, it's $5 per game or $5 to get in the room, and then you play as many games as you want to while you're in the room, and then
yeah, it's $5 a person basically.
Okay.
Yeah, we stopped listing when we learned this additional fee. Like, we'll find something else.
Yeah. We'll just go get our own board game and play in the hallway.
Pretty close to, yeah.
So anyways, AndoCon, awesome. Go check it out. AndoCon.org, I believe, is the thing I'll put in there. AndoCon.org. All right.
It'll be interesting because one of our other favorite people is Craig Campbell. He's I don't know the details, but I know he's mentioned on Facebook about doing a Kickstarter for AndoCon also. And he's excited to be involved in that aspect of it, his experience kickstarting stuff. So it'll be really interesting to see how that plays into the world of AndoCon with kickstarting. I'm not a big Kickstarter. I rarely kickstart things, but this is definitely something I'll get behind, and I'm sure I'll bring you news when it comes to light.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move into first topic of discussion this evening, and that, of course, is...
We don't want to talk about AndoCon more?
I mean, we could talk about AndoCon more, but I think that, we probably want to cover some of the other topics.
I'm sure we'll talk about AndoCon future talks anyways.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the crazy new Battle.net.
What? Battle.net?
There's the brand new name for Battle.net, that wonderful service that kicked me consistently in the cojones and basically ate my copy of Diablo 3 and then has made me create several different accounts, because every single time I try to harness the authenticator to my Battle.net profile to play HearthStone when I was feeling masochistic, it would forget to remember how to log me in, and I have to bring up a whole new thing. So
you got issues, bro.
I know. So Battle.net is getting a rebrand, my friends, and here's the craziness: the name of Battle.net will be Blizzard Battle.net.
Not Activision Battle.net?
No. Now the cool thing is that they are working out. They have worked out a deal with Bungie to basically host Destiny 2. So that's actually really cool. However, they're making a huge ass deal about the rebranding of Battle.net to just add
Blizzard.
A word to it.
Even though it's already heavily implied that you're playing Blizzard's Battle.net.
Yeah. That Blizzard's icon was everywhere in the login screen and all that stuff, and it's only Blizzard games.
Well, of course, as some of you may remember, earlier this year, Blizzard released a news press where they're saying, we're looking at changing the name of Battle.net. They didn't say what they're changing it to or anything, so most people, myself included, assuming like, why are they changing it from something other than Battle.net?
It's going to be axes and swords.
Or something. They're like, why? Like, that's what people know, man. We know Battle.net. And lo and behold, they changed the name from Battle.net, those bastards. I mean, it makes sense, to have Battle.net in the name. That's what, Blizzard and Battle.net, whatever precedes or comes after Battle.net, it's synonymous with Blizzard.
Right. The thing is, when individuals were polled as to what they thought about the new name, the Blizzard Battle.net, basically 99.9999% were like, yeah, we're just going to keep calling it Battle.net because
it's
it's still in the name. So why would we want to add an additional word to it?
It's just another word to type anyways.
Yeah.
I will say, I can understand from Blizzard's perspective because it does look cool. Like, I do like the look of the logo. I'm a fan of it.
Axdom says, didn't they try to name it Blizzard app? Sort of. They wanted to rebrand the authentication app as well, and I believe that's what they were going to try to call the Blizzard app.
I feel like they basically, like, earlier this year, they got like a bunch of like MBAs into a room. Like, dude, we need to like rebrand this stuff and change it and see what happens. We're like, yeah, bro,
let's be crazy.
And then somebody talks some sense into them. Like, dude, let's stop for a second here. We're talking about video game players. They like old and crusty, man. I know Battle.net is kind of like dated. It sounds like it's straight out of the 90s because guess what? It is. That's why it's so great.
Speaking of trying to keep your gaming population happy, in other game name changing news, ladies and gentlemen,
I got one other thing about. So you're mentioning. So we're talking about '90s games. I just find humorous. So StarCraft Remastered is out, right? So what some modder is trying to do is basically create. I mean, you can mod the hell out of StarCraft. That's what it's known for. Is they're trying to create Diablo 2 as a mod for StarCraft using all the updated graphics because they're basically an updated version of Diablo 2. I just thought it was humorous because Diablo 2 is very dated graphically. It's like, hey, let's update that too. I don't know.
All right, let's talk about another name change. And ladies and gentlemen, many of you might have heard of a game called H1Z1. Once upon a time, H1Z1, back in 2015.
Back in the day.
They, Sony Online Entertainment, basically sold off their gaming hand and renamed it Daybreak Games Company, which is kind of weird because, I mean, they no longer have any first party stuff, though technically I guess Daybreak could be. Anyways, so H1Z1 came out. It was a game that basically had two different games within it. You had a survival mode, and then you had a fast-paced arena-style combat game called King of the Kill. So
not King of the Hill, King of the Kill.
Right. Okay. So what they did is, soon after Daybreak Studios arrived, they decided to basically cut the game in half. H1Z1 King of the Kill would be basically your fast-paced arena game, which I believe is what they play for competitive play, I guess. I don't know. And then the survival one is going to be called H1Z1 Just Survive.
What?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this just in, they have made the move to change H1Z1 Just Survive to just the title Just Survive. That's it. Just Survive.
So you're telling me it has the title of another generic zombie killer game?
Yes.
Excellent.
So basically, insert zombie game under this. Just Survive.
Just what the gaming world needs more of.
Now, of course, they're like, look, with this move, we're also going to give you a completely new world map.
Hooray!
Called Badwater Canyon, which will be rolling out over time. So the map will continue to increase in size. Basically what Firefall was trying to do, but they never actually pulled it off.
Firefall was a cool concept.
Yeah, but they never actually got it to...
I know.
Anyway, so the game will also feature a new player housing system called Stronghold. I'm not exactly sure what the housing system means, but ta-da! For those of you out there who play H1Z1, if you're playing the Just Survive, or sorry, now it's Just Survive, I don't know what this... Look.
So it sounds like they're really trying to separate these two franchises from each
other. They are.
other.
However, the problem is Just Survive reminds me immediately of Just Cause, which is a totally different game. But that name does not really stand out to me.
It's like H1Z1 is unique. Yeah. Like, it stands out. It's like, what else is called like this? Nothing else.
Right.
But now that it's Just Survive, it doesn't pop.
It's even really hard just to say the name is Just Survive. Mm-hmm. Like, it's tongue trippy for me at least.
If it's a Just game, you're right. It should be Just Cause. Yeah. Like, that's the Just game.
Yeah. So I don't, I mean, whatever. We'll see what happens. I personally am not blown away by the rebranding. Yes, are people going to get? The vast majority of people who want to play this game are probably already playing it, so they'll just see that the name looks different on the load-in screen. I'm assuming.
They won't even care or notice.
Though it'd be funny as hell if they did an update to the icon and name for your desktop.
It's like, where'd my game go? I don't see anymore.
Where's my H1Z1 Just Survive? What the hell is going on? What is this? What is this other game? I don't know.
Did I not survive the gaming apocalypse, man? You destroyed everything?
Do I have to rebuy the game? Oh my god, it's no longer in the Steam store.
I could buy it again.
But it's not in the Steam store. So anyways, I don't personally, I don't know what they're thinking. I just, honestly, I don't know. I really don't.
Do they know?
No, I don't think anyone over there knows. It's one of those, like, you know what'd be cool? Let's separate, because a lot of people are just, confusing the Just Survive from the King of the Kill. So let's just remove the H1Z1 from the front of it, and then everyone will know the difference.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But the problem is now no one knows what the hell Just Survive is, because you just thrown it into like a pit of 20,000 different games with something close to that name, and they'll be like, oh, it's a survival game. Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah. It's not going to blow me away. All right. Let's move on to the next topic.
What is the next topic, good sir?
The next topic is something that has ruffled quite a few feathers in the world, and that, of course, is that League of Legends gets a PvE mode called Invasion.
Just how many feathers do you have?
I don't know. Depends on your plumage. Anyways, so I'm going to have to read this press release because, first of all, I don't play League of Legends. From what I've heard, though, people are thoroughly pissed.
Are they up in arms? Is there rage
Super
against
duper,
Tencent?
because they're like, this is the stupidest thing in the world. It's a waste of time. It takes too long. There's no point to it. But let me tell you about some of the details.
Please do tell me.
So, titled Invasion, it'll pit 5 Star Guardian players with each other to defend against waves of invading space monsters, which will end in a boss fight. So basically, 7 waves of enemies will be thrown at the players, and they'll need to destroy each and every scary space monster. After each round, players will be given a certain amount of base gold to purchase items that will help their progression. However, you cannot earn more gold than the game lets you. The big disadvantage is that you'll be stuck inside of the Star Guardian's protective shield, and leaving the barrier will cause you to take heavy damage, which immediately screams one of my least favorite Final Fantasy games, and that is, was it Defenders of the Crystal?
I never played that one.
It was on the, I think it was the GameCube, or it might have been the GameCube.
Why I never played it.
Where literally, you have to co-op. You got one person who's holding this pot that basically protects you from the miasma.
Okay.
And then you have the other person. So literally, if you're playing single player, you pick up the pot, you try to move forward real quick, drop the pot, and get all the enemies to come inside. Because once you go outside that protective barrier that the pot is kind of like protecting you from, you take damage. So this sounds exactly like this.
So far you're not impressed.
No. Okay, so cause heavy damage, force everyone to stay in the same location. Bosses have been labeled absolutely hilariously. But of course I didn't grab a name here. There are also a few other details that might pique your interest. For example, if one player goes down, another can spend a bit of their health to revive them.
Oh, hooray.
Some summoner spells will be removed from Invasion, and a clean run can take around 20 minutes to finish. Also, and here's the big one for those who are like, but what? You will not need to have previously purchased the Star Guardian skins, which also came out.
Hello, Nakamoto.
To be able to play this. Upon choosing a champion, the skin will be unlocked automatically for you to play in this mode. That doesn't mean that once you exit the mode, you'll still have the skin, but for the time being, when you're in the League of Legends PvE invasion thing, you can play.
You have temporary skins?
So basically, you got skins that you can unlock, that you can utilize in any of the other gameplay. However, if you have not unlocked that skin, your character will automatically gain that skin just for Invasion. Once you're outside, of course, that skin goes away. But anyways, so sure, this really sounds like what High Res does from the adventure mode, which seems like a half-baked idea that they're like, some players want something a little bit different. And so they basically do this. And you're just like, no.
That's exactly what it sounds like, is they just want to try something out and see if it works. The thing I'd be interested in is because, so Overwatch, they had a PvE game a couple months ago. And
Uprising.
Thank you, Uprising. It was
because they in this article they reference, it seemingly takes ideas from Overwatch's recent Uprising.
Well, I think I'm curious because, like, I didn't play Uprising, but I heard actually a lot of good things about Uprising. People really enjoyed it. But the difference is Blizzard is also very much a PvE developer. I mean, they have a lot of experience, not Overwatch, obviously, but Blizzard and their other games with those PvE elements versus, you know, Riot Games, they're PvP. You know, that's what they do. So you're taking a developer who, you know, goes from, you know, just making PvE to PvE. There's going to be bumps in the road because they don't have that experience versus a Blizzard where, you know, they can go knock on the Blizzard, you know, on the World of Warcraft guys next door and be like, do you guys got any tips for the PvE to make it fun for people so they don't hate us?
No, they probably even think, they're like, oh, look, that was a cool idea. We could probably implement something like that. Well, yeah, of course we can. We're game programmers, of course. We made a game. We could make any type of game, which is a very dangerous statement. You should never, ever say that. And that is the quickest way to get your company out of business. Now, that being said, it's not like Riot Games is going to go out of business.
No.
Just a lot of people are going to be pissed off. And I would not be surprised if Invasion probably goes, bye.
I feel like it's just kind of like you said, they're just like, you know, dipping their toes and it's like, okay, do people like this? If it does, great, we'll invest some more money into it and see. But if everybody hates it and nobody plays it, well, we could just drop it and nobody's really going to actually care.
Right.
That's kind of the feeling I get is see what happens. You never know. You know, maybe people will really like it and it takes off and you know, you have a new game mode you can try out. You know, I would find that interesting if I still played LoL. I haven't played LoL in a long, long, long time now.
I've never played LoL, so I don't know.
I actually played it before Smite.
I've never played it.
I'm not competitive enough to play it, though. I'm like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
It's not dumb. I don't want to put up with that type of competitive nature.
No,
It was not for me.
I did look at my statistics for Smite, just a side note here, and I have played over 67 hours with my favorite god, Keranos. Thank you very much.
How many?
Over 67 hours.
Okay, that's impressive, yo.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we'll use that one.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you probably have heard from us, and probably the rest of the world, maybe, I don't know, once upon a time, there was this game in 2012, it was released, it's called Secret World. Secret World was basically the Illuminati, you had a bunch of like secret organizations, you're trying to kind of further your organization's agenda while trying to protect the world from basically imploding from the end of the world, Cthulhu and all that jazz. Now, of course, they relaunched the game and they rebranded it as Secret World Legends.
Legends!
But here comes the curveball, ladies and gentlemen. There's actually going to be an accompanying show to this. The TV show will be called The Secret World. The show follows an elite squad of undercover agents caught in a war between three secret societies and a Lovecraftian horde of monsters from other dimensions. It basically, the company behind the game says it incorporates the realms of ancient myths and legends as well as today's conspiracy theories and headlines. They have an individual who's had ties with CSI New York and CSI Cyber that will serve as the showrunner and producer. They also have a screenwriter who worked on Hook and Contact. And let's see here. The show will also be produced by Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp's company, Infidium Nihil. So basically, if you're interested, Axel Thumb says, Secret World had a great PvE mode. The PvP arena PvP wasn't the best. Almost no point to having the three factions. Yes. I can't remember. There was the Illuminati. There was like the Yakuza and the Templar, I believe, were the three.
I also, from reading, I never played Secret World, but from everything I've read, it's also, you know, it's an MMO, but it's more about kind of the puzzles and the story. And
Dude,
the
those
mystery.
puzzles are hard as hell.
Yeah, than just being a straight up like, gotta hack and slash everyone. So there's actually,
Yeah.
you know, in terms of being having a story and ideas to be able to do a television show, it has a little bit more of that mystery and things to do in the game versus your typical MMO.
Now,
so kind of
when I played Secret World, like hardcore, which is for probably like 2 months or something, I literally was like taking screenshots of what I saw and then researching it, because you literally have to bounce across like a shit ton of websites to try to get answers and clues to this stuff. I'm just like, oh my God, this is like another job. I can't do it. But I'm pretty sure I got the lifetime membership for this one. I've got the lifetime membership for a shit ton of games that.
Lotro.
Yeah, Lotro's one. Firefall's another.
Oh, aren't they shutting down Firefall?
Yeah, they shut it down.
Yeah.
Secret World, I think, was another one, and I feel like there's one more out there, but I don't know.
Probably some Kickstarter you don't remember.
I'm sure. Yeah. So, anyways, very interesting. It immediately reminds me of what Defiance did. For those of you who don't know, Defiance is a free-to-play MMO that also was coupled with a TV show on Sci-Fi. Now, the cool thing about the game versus what was on Sci-Fi was Sci-Fi basically took place in St. Louis, where the game took place in California. So there was chances of like crossover with like characters that might come visit you or something like that. But it's kind of cool because you could. They also gave an incentive to watching the show because they would give you limited time codes that you can use in game to unlock special items.
Does Defiance even still exist as a video game?
I think so.
Oh, it's a fun video game. I like the whole PvE, like first-person shooter style of game. I thought was well done, and I like the way how they did the group battles.
The instance group battles where if you're within a certain circumference or area, you would get credit.
Correct, which I thought was cool. You know, they still had like, you know, find your party of 5 and go to the separate thing over here that's totally instance away from everybody else. But you just be playing, all of a sudden you see in your map like major swarm inversion over there, and you just run over there and be like 50 other people just guns ablazing killing them. And you know, you just because you're there, you get the rewards and all that stuff. And I thought that was a really cool way of doing those really crazy boss battles. Because let's be honest, you know, a lot of MMOs, you know, fighting those groups, it can be tedious and overwhelming.
You have to party up, and then there's usually like a camping factor, and there's no guarantee that if y'all beat the boss that everyone will get an item.
Yeah, so I
or
like
get the correct item.
So I like the way that they did the whole open world because you know you could just stick to your own. I mean, you could play totally solo, nobody cared or knew. But you could also jump into these huge swarm invasions out there if you felt like it. So I really liked how they could do the mixing and matching.
Yeah.
I just felt like the gameplay got really, really repetitive after a while.
Well, yeah, it was a rinse and repeat. I mean, that's what made it so easy for people to pick up.
True.
It was very simplistic. I mean, I maxed out my character before the first expansion, then maxed it out again, then the second expansion, then I maxed it out again. But I am a lone wolf type of character. I don't, unless I know whom I'm playing with, if I'm in an MMO, I want to be by myself. And Defiance basically gave me the best of everything because I didn't have to party with anyone, but when there's huge events that I needed for like a quest or something, all I had to do was watch out for the ticker or the map, and then as soon as it alerted, I'd drive my vehicle over there and then basically join in the fray.
Yep.
And then bam.
Yep.
Also had a hell of a sniper rifle.
Yes.
That if you let me set up, everybody's dead.
Death to a ball from the sniper rifle.
Anyway, so I'll be very interested to see what this TV show's like. The funny thing is, okay, so this individual, Pam Vasey, who is going to be the showrunner producer, who's been attached to CSI New York, good, CSI New York, tons of seasons, and CSI Cyber, which I don't even think it actually made it out of its first season before getting canned.
I haven't watched CSIs.
So, you know, I don't know if I would put that in there, but anyways.
Well, since we're talking about the Secret World Legends TV show, what is the video game that Charlie would like to see made into a television series? What is your game?
Okay, so I would assume that would have to be something, it would have to be kind of like an MMO type of environment because you would have to have an ever-evolving world.
Do you?
I would assume so. I mean, technically, no. I mean, if you had an RPG, you could definitely, you know, you could basically you could have any game, base it in the same universe, but like a separate piece. I mean, how easy would it be to have, and they've done this, a Halo TV show where it's not Chief, but it's still, you know, the Covenant and, you know, the humans and all that, you know, facing off against each other. Legend of Zelda, that would be cool. However, if I'm going with my strategy of it's in the same universe but it's a different character, would you want to see a show that didn't have Luke, Princess Leia, and probably Ganondorf for the vast majority of the time at all in there. You just kind of like hear whispers about them. Would you be able to get behind that show?
I think the name alone could get you behind the show, though. You know, sometimes sometimes a name alone will be enough.
Right, but the problem is that if you're, the thing is, for a TV show to succeed, you need both the hardcore fans and the casual fans.
True.
And so for individuals, Zelda might just sound, you know, Legend of Zelda, well, of course, will ring true to the hardcore fans, and a lot of them will be able to pull in their best friends and whatnot that may not be gamers, and maybe it's cool. However, name recognition alone is not going to cause people to watch it.
And that's what Game of Thrones did so well is, you know, when it came out on HBO, yes, there was a name recognition. People like myself were like, yeah, Game of Thrones, I know it.
Well, technically, Game of Thrones is actually only the name of the first book, so they kind of wanted.
It's a song of Ice and Fire. Yes.
I wouldn't want to see Luke and Leia in Legend of Zelda at all. Leia.
You did say Leia.
Did I say shit?
You
I meant
did.
Luke and
Yes.
Link and Zelda. I'm sorry, man. I was thinking space with Halo and then whatever. But anyways, man, I just derailed.
You're right. It's a Song of Ice and Fire. Yes, that they
Right,
renamed
Song
it
of Ice
Game
and Fire,
Thrones.
but then the Game of Thrones. So it's kind of, yes, a lot of people, the nerds, of course, will be like, well, it's the Song of Ice and Fire. But then people are like, oh, Game of Thrones, that sounds like a cool thing.
Like it superseded where the books came from in
Right.
terms of why are people watching it. It's not because of the books. It's because it's freaking Game of Thrones.
Robotech.
I don't know. I want to see. I know they made it into a movie and it was terrible. I still think they could do something really cool with World of Warcraft. Because
You know what's funny
you
though?
know a lot.
Okay, in the U.S., the Warcraft movie just stunk. China,
Yep.
it was like the highest grossing movie of the year.
But because World of Warcraft, you have a lot. I mean, you have an incredible amount of lore and
absolutely,
storylines in that, and you actually have.
See, XCOM says the movie wasn't that bad. But you're right.
Like
In Robotech, where there's a humongous, you know, just like Warcraft, where you have this mythos, these legends, this lore with a bunch of, you know, different characters and histories that are built into it, and books and stuff. You, especially just like Robotech, you have so much you could go with. I mean, that's really why you can get away with a lot of these spin-offs or revamps of these animes, to be honest with you, like Gundam. You have, like, I don't know, a Mobile Suit Gundam, you have Gundam Wing Unicorn something, or mini blah 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 blah, because it's all in the same universe, but it's like different pieces. So for like Warcraft or for Robotech, or I'm trying to think of a game off the top of my head.
You know what
here.
I'd love to see actually is made into an anime is the Black Library, which is Warhammer. So basically, you have a lot. I mean, there's a lot of Warhammer books out there. It's dubbed the Black Library, is what they call it. And I mean, you have some really crazy, I mean, they're all very gritty. They're all very war style type of books. You know, it's just nonstop action. That I don't know if I necessarily want to see a live action TV show because basically it has to be like a Game of Thrones, where it's, you know, crazy over the top a lot. But you can't do that.
Crazy over the top. That's George R.R. Martin. They're not. They're based. There's the level of crazy is the same as the book.
No, what I'm saying is I don't know if that can be replicated. That's what. Yes, you're right. It is crazy over the top. What I'm saying is, you know, Game of Thrones is doing a fantastic job with the television series, but are we going to trust the TV producers to do that consistently? And that's where Warhammer would be just as over the top, but I would trust an anime to be able to pull that off much better than another television series, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Just the history of TV. Although we are seeing the trend in TV change. You know, with Netflix, what HBO is doing, and Showtime, you are seeing these networks being able to do that on a more consistent basis. On being able to do the crazy over the top well, because they don't have to basically scale back for teens.
How about? I mean, I know this was just recently made into a movie, but what about an Assassin's Creed TV show?
I think that could be cool.
Because there's so much history that you could definitely delve into. There's a lot of intrigue. There's a lot of, you know, subterfuge and you know, danger. And
you can almost do it like each season is like a different era in history. Would be really cool. I could see something like that working. You could do, you know, the action. You could have the plot. So,
and you can even come in and out of the Animus.
Yeah, something like that. You know, there's a lot of cool ideas out there that we would love to see in television series, and it'd be interesting to see. You know, are we going to see maybe more TV in because we've shown
There you go.
TV shows.
Assassin's Creed only if they go into alternate history. So you're talking about the way that the games are laid out? Because technically, they have historical points. However, you can kind of influence those historical points. So it's not true, but still there is some truth to like the historical sites and individuals that you'll interact with. That's my question. Because this would actually be a phenomenal topic for our local historian, Jesse. Actually, some says, but yeah, if they didn't just stick with the historic parts and come out into a futuristic world, you want... I don't know. Anywho, yeah, I think Assassin's Creed TV show would be fun. I can't think of any other. I mean, you know, you could go with if they use the historic parts as a Matrix type place, not actually going into the past. Well, I mean, technically, I mean, it's what Assassin's Creed is. You're kind of in like a Matrix-like environment. You're not actually going back there. You're basically VR jumping into VR jumping into an era of a past life where you get to determine what you do and what you don't do.
See, I never actually played Assassin's Creed, so you're not actually. I thought you actually, from what I've seen, I thought you actually were in the
you get
past.
plugged into this system and you relive one of your ancestors' lives.
But you're not actually reliving it.
Well, technically you are. Technically.
Are you actually affecting the time stream?
Yes. By
Okay.
your actions, you can affect the time stream.
Okay.
Which then unlocks information for something that you're trying to find
Okay.
as a result of delving into your past.
So it's not really VR. You really aren't there.
Yes. However, you could be pulled out like the Matrix. You could be pulled out at any
Okay.
moment
That makes sense.
and be returned, and then you can jump back in and basically start from your checkpoint.
What about Mario Brothers?
I think they had a cartoon about that.
I wouldn't want to. I was just thinking the movie and how great it was.
Mario.
Yes.
That affects the timeline is a problem. True. But if you want to go, oh God, now there's a ton of books out there, and there was a movie as well. There's called the Doomsday Book, which is basically screwing around with the timeline. There's also, I think there's a movie actually and a book called Timeline, where they jump back into the past and screw around with the past.
That's basically Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in history. Actually, it's one of my favorite episodes of TV of all time is the Water of Mars.
Mm-hmm.
It was not in the original, so like they had the Netflix, obviously. It's not on there anymore. It was not on the Netflix run. You could only get it by DVD.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the premise of the show was the doctor, you know, they always end up places, they end up on the moon. And basically the premise of it is these astronauts landed on the moon and a certain thing happened, and basically the doctor and his companion had the choice of basically do you save these astronauts or not, but it's one of those, it was not a fixed point in history, but he already knew what the outcome would be if he changed it.
Yeah.
And like it was one of those like moral dilemmas, like, you know, you kind of see it in other
He
shows.
basically
but it was one of those
he had to allow the humans to make the choice.
As
He
well as
couldn't do it.
episode, you know, see, I know they touch on other episodes in Doctor Who, but that episode was very specifically about, you know, the Doctor and his responsibility to the timeline. It was just like, that was a great episode.
Same house.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, the timeline definitely makes things interesting.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's pause real quick and do a little public service announcement. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, there's this amazing thing called Extra Life. Extra Life is this charity organization that basically takes donations from individuals like you.
The people.
And they collect it for the Children's Miracle Network. And there are tons and tons of hospitals and organizations that are attached to this, which the money is then filtered to. For Altered Confusion, all the proceeds that you donate to Altered Confusion's Extra Life donation page goes to the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, which I've said many times over. I've been there. My sisters spent time there. My other sisters spent time there. My kids have spent time there. My nephew and niece have spent time there. We have
You're having to
definitely,
like fund an entire damn wing.
benefited from Children's Healthcare Atlanta, and this is an amazing way for us to kind of gain some attention, hopefully gain some donations to them I believe our goal is set at $250. Remember, there is a 24-hour game-a-thon that's going to happen in November, which I will play 24 hours. Dadgummit.
And Charlie says he does it for the kids. I really think he's just doing it as an excuse to his wife so they can play video games for 24 straight hours and not get in trouble.
That too.
That's my theory. Oh, I prefer Heathcare.
There you go. Healthcare.
Thank you, Nakamoto.
So anyways, seriously, if you have the ability to donate for this amazing cause, please go to, if you're watching this on Twitch, just go below this video and there's going to be a panel that has the Extra Life logo. Just click on that, it'll take you to the donate page. If you want to go to our website, www.alterconfusion.com, you'll see that our donate information widget is on the left-hand side of our page. You just click that and you can donate there. Of course, you can always go to extra-life.org and then type in Alter Confusion into the player search thing, and it'll take you there as well. So,
of course, remember the money, none of it actually goes towards Alter Confusion. We don't even see the money. It just goes straight to Extra Life.
And if you need additional incentive, it is tax deductible, so you can write off on your taxes.
Yeah, who needs taxes?
Yeah, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so let's jump right back into the wonders of the news. And the next story is, nope, not that one.
Wait, they changed their name again?
There you go. So as you may have known, in just the recent past, Twitch and Blizzard basically given, the secret handshake to each other to basically broadcast all of their professional stuff outside of the Overwatch Pro League. All the other Overwatch, like professional gaming and stuff, as well as all the HearthStone professional gaming stuff, Twitch is going to be the exclusive streamer for those events. Mm-hmm. Now, because they have such a sweet deal, Twitch and Blizzard have worked a deal out where if you are an Overwatch fan or a Hearthstone fan, you now have the ability, starting today,
today,
you go on Twitch, and if you select either Overwatch or Hearthstone, you can then burrow down even further into it, and you can find more relevant streams by basically playing around with the new channel filter option. So basically what you can do, it will allow you to select streams or channels based on what hero the streamer's playing, as well as game mode, player rank, and numbers of wins in Hearthstone games. So you basically allowed to kind of customize what you want to see. So it's not like I want to watch Overwatch, and then you get your like 2,000 different streams, and then you're just like, from the thumbnail, it looks like maybe they're playing, I don't know, Mercy. And so you go in there like, oh no, they're not playing Mercy, they're playing
Doomfist.
And like, I don't want to watch Doomfist. I never play as Doomfist. I don't like Doomfist. I just want to watch Mercy. Now you have the ability to narrow that down. And of course, if you're looking for Hearthstone, maybe you're only looking for like the top echelon of player. You don't want to watch some person like myself. You don't want to watch me play Hearthstone, because all you're going to see is a bunch of cursing and swearing and why the shit am I even playing this game?
I'm pretty sure the pros do that too.
No, I know, but that'll be me playing Hearthstone, period. That's why I don't play Hearthstone, because I don't get it. I suck at it.
I think it's a pretty cool feature, actually, especially like you said, I got 20 characters, wherever is in Overwatch, and you might want to watch a specific character, especially at a high level, because that's a lot of these players. That's how you get better. Is watch the high skill players and see how do they play their characters. And a lot of sometimes you go to the forums and be like, okay, watch like this specific YouTuber, because they're going to show you how to play well. But if they're not online or streaming, then it's like, okay, who else can I watch now?
Right.
And especially when you filter by their SR in the competition match, so just to really be like, okay, now I can watch some really good players. And I know that they have a high skill rating. I know they're playing a specific character. I think that's a pretty cool feature. I kind of wonder if, for a while, Twitch has been the only gaming streaming service out there. And now, like with YouTube Gaming, also out there to potentially pull some eyeballs from Twitch, if Twitch is finally being like, oh, wait, we could bring some more customizability and extra user benefits to Twitch because we have competition.
Well, the thing is, because Twitch is now owned by Amazon, they have deeper pockets. Now, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you've got to remember to sign up to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch so that you now have Twitch Prime, so you can get free stuff every single month. And they've been giving out Overwatch Gold loot boxes, which contains a guaranteed legendary item that you can then use for Overwatch.
Nice.
Now, this isn't actually like this filtering option is not completely new. They have some sort of filtering option for League of Legends as well. However, I don't think it goes to this depth.
I'm kind of curious because I've never streamed Overwatch from Twitch, so I'm kind of curious on how, like, is there like a Twitch plugin that goes with Overwatch? So like it actually knows the character you're playing. And so like, you know, it knows if I change this, like, let's just say from like Mercy to Orisa, how does it know that to then actually update that on the Twitch feed for people trying to do their filters?
I'm glad you asked that question.
Yay!
So basically part of the filter is something called Clip Mine. And basically what it does is Clip Mine has, it's a deep learning video platform.
Ooh.
And it's capable of recognizing in-game objects, text, and levels, which can then be selected via the site's filters.
Ah.
So basically they're looking at, you know, the player names as well as, you know, the player information that's being thrown up on the screen.
So basically this learning algorithm is watching the stream, not actually tied into my Blizzard game. My Blizzard Battle.net game.
No. It's literally sitting on
Okay.
Twitch, reading the video. It's not going to affect your stream because it's
That
not
makes
actually
sense.
hidden there. It's literally just as a viewer.
That is pretty cool technology, I have
That
to
is-
say.
that is
That is
pretty
pretty
amazing.
dang neat.
Yes. So for all you Overwatch and HearthStone's individual players, as well as League of Legends, I don't know how deep the filter goes for them, but that's option there as well. Unfortunately, Smite doesn't have that.
You know what this means now is people are going to try to game it. So what they're going to try to do be like, okay, I'm going to actually play as Mercy, but I'm going to try to rig it so it thinks I'm playing as Doomfist to really screw with people's minds.
No. No one's going to have that time.
People troll all the time.
I know, but no.
And people enjoy doing the trolling just to piss people off.
No, the
If
only
you
thing
can
is
troll
just-
it, people will.
No. What people are going to do is they're going to jump into something that they know is a Mercy stream going, what the shit, man? It's supposed to be Doomfist. What the hell, man? Why aren't you playing as Doomfist? Doomfist is so much better of a player. You should be playing as Doomfist. Mercy's for suckers. That's where the trolling comes in.
We'll see.
Because believe me, I get that on a daily basis when I play Smite.
Well,
I get that in-game, by the way.
that's it.
Why are you playing as this character? Why aren't you choosing another character? It's assault. It's random assignment. I
Well-
don't get to choose.
There's a reason I don't play competitive Overwatch anymore. Because, like, unless you pick, like, from the specific meta of these characters. and
You're only
the
allowed to
classes,
actually pick from 3 characters. If you choose outside those characters, you're an asshole.
Pretty much, that's what it is. And I'm like, okay, this is annoying. So, yeah, that's why I don't play that mode anymore. Because I'm like, I just want to have fun and kill people.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next topic is a little bit, it could be potentially, well, it's interesting. So let's just get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, dude, I'm just messing with you when you play the GOAT. I know.
He's the greatest of all time.
Axstone, it's when I'm not playing Keranos. That's the problem. When I'm not playing Keranos, when I'm playing Assault, where I literally get randomly assigned a god that I don't know how to play, and people are like, you don't know how to play this god. You should never play this game again. You should be banned for buying this game. First of all, it's a free-to-play game, so I can't buy it. Second of all, it's a random assigned god. I have no control over it.
When they randomly assign gods,
Thank you,
can they
Axel.
assign gods that you have not purchased yet?
No.
So what you should do is create a new account and only
Am I a
purchase
Smurf?
purchase the gods that you want to play with, so you know you have a much greater
No,
chance.
the problem is that you're going to have a rotating roster. So you're always going to have more gods than the ones you're going to play
Okay.
as. You can't literally
Damn
like,
it.
I want just Ra and Keranos
Yes.
and Nox and Hades and Ymir. No. I think you have like a base of like 15 gods, I think.
Okay.
And then you have like some rotating ones that rotate in and out just so you can get a sample taste of it. No, you can't. You don't have that amount of control because that'd be like, the only god I have is Keranos.
Yes, let's play Assault.
Yeah, no. All right, so let's jump into something that's interesting. Let's see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as many of you know, there is this software out there, company, whatever you want to talk about, called Discord. Discord is basically like TeamSpeak and Skype, but it's free and apparently a shit ton easier to use. I don't know.
It's very popular. I know, like,
It's very popular.
well, like Overwatch, for instance, there's no guilds or clans. I don't know why the hell there's not. Blizzard, get your together. But that's basically the alternative to having any kind of in-game guilds is people use Discord.
Now, the main purpose of Discord, as it was created, was to give gamers the ability to have TeamSpeak without having to pay an arm and a leg. And it has a little bit more. Ease outside of Skype. So basically, what Discord has done, basically with the CMO of Discord, has said the company will continue to be aggressive in its ongoing investigations into servers that violate Discord's terms of service and promote hateful content or incite violence. So first of all, part of it is that Discord is supposed to be used for gaming, okay? But here's the breakdown. Discord was built to bring people together through a love of gaming, and our mission is to connect positive communities who share this appreciation. We unequivocally condemn white supremacy, neo-Nazism, or any other group, term, ideology that is based on these beliefs. They are not welcome on Discord. While we don't read people's private servers, our terms of service explicitly forbid harassment, threatening messages, or calls to violence. When hatred like this violates our community standards, we act swiftly to take servers down and ban individual users. The public server linked to altright.com that violated these terms was shut down, along with several other public groups and accounts fostering bad actors on Discord. We will continue to be aggressive to ensure that Discord exists for the community we set out to support, gamers.
So basically, the way I look at it, if people bring assholes on the internet, there is no reason that the provider of such a service has to provide that service.
Correct.
People are like, freedom of speech! No, the government can't tell you to not be an asshole, but Discord, Flare Cloud, a couple of those. So basically, over the last couple of days, it's not just Discord, there's also been a few content management CDNs that have also basically cut off sources to some alt-right host.
The thing is, when you utilize a product or a service, you have to understand that you have to, unfortunately, for better or for worse, you have to stay within the confines of the EULA. Now, of course, there are those individuals who live on the edge and will try to do outside of it, and the vast majority of the world is able to basically skirt past this. However, if it becomes a huge issue, or a lot of attention is being drawn to it, if it does violate the EULA, the supplier or the supporter of said service is in their right 100% of the time to revoke said service. On a lesser scale, if you are a total dickweed on Killing Floor 2, Tripwire Interactive reserves the right to basically discontinue your ability to play the game because they don't want absolute dipshits who are spouting hate and trying to elicit, rage or belittling or harassment or something like that. So what if it's in the terms of service, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, you got to follow it. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it.
So basically, any company can cut you off, so they can cut you off from Discord. Yeah. Where it would become a violation of free speech is, let's just say, hypothetically, that the government is like, well, these alt-right people, they're not allowed to actually have a space on the internet. They're not allowed in the Great Wall of America. That would be definitely the violation of the First Amendment and free speech. But for a corporation, a private or publicly held, to say you're violated our EULA or TOS.
Well, technically, if it's a publicly traded organization, it would be up to the trade holders. However, because if you're publicly traded, the amount of influence you have as a trade holder is so minimal that it's going to fall back on the terms of service. There's not going to be enough power to basically override it. Axdome says they have the right to revoke their service for no reason. Freedom of speech just applies to the government. And then Nakamoto says, is the alt-right inherently a hate group? And Axdome says yes.
Basically, the alt-right is self-proclaimed. That's what they've called themselves. That's the key thing. Is the alt-right has said, like, that's kind of like our nickname because we're not the right, we're the alt-right, and they identify as white supremacist. I mean, there's no other way.
Neo-Nazis.
There's no other way. They do. I mean, read the materials they put out there. That's exactly what they call themselves. I don't know how they can put it any other way when they've said it, when they've given out quotes from straight up Nazi books and materials that are clearly quoted from these sources.
Mein Kampf.
Yes, Mein Kampf among other ones. So there's no other way around it. That yes, alt-right is definitely a hate group because that's what they adhere to is white supremacy and killing people who basically aren't white. And killing other people who aren't white also, but whatever, who are white. So,
Well,
yeah.
but I do applaud Discord. I mean, look, it's their product. They're totally allowed to do what they want as long as it's within their terms of service, their EULA, all that stuff. And you know, they took a swift step.
I hear you, Nakamoto, and that's kind of, this whole thing.
Nakamoto saying, I don't associate with them. I was just under the impression that factions of people who consider themselves alt-right happen to be racist/Nazi.
So basically what you're saying is, and this is kind of what's come out of Charlottesville, is basically we're not racist Nazis, we just support other parts of the alt-right like free speech. The problem is when you start associating yourself with a group that at its core has said that they're white supremacist, I'm not really sure how you can disentangle that.
Yeah.
I mean, on a moral level, as much as I abhor what they say, I support their right to free speech to peacefully say what they want to publicly is a legal right.
But
no, there's a giant but.
Peacefully.
Yes, peacefully, and I also support corporations' ability to cut them off from saying what they want to because they're not the government. So it goes both ways. You have the freedom to say what you want to, but there's also potential repercussion for what you say, such as your provider cutting you off from being able to say hateful things. Because that's also their right to not allow you to use their platform to use speech. And they're allowed to do that also. Mm-hmm. So it cuts both ways. It's not like I can just say whatever you want and there's nothing you can do about it. No, it doesn't work that way because I'm allowed to have my freedom of speech also to call you a total dickwad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. As long as it doesn't violate their terms of service. That's why you have so many trolls out there that not anyone can do anything about being total asshats and dipshits in games, because technically, unless they're really over the top, they're just going to get like a... Nakamoto said, by the association logic, if Republicans have historically shown to support a racist agenda, maybe not as outright, shouldn't Republican sites be cut off from Cloudfire and Discord servers be shut down? No.
I hear what you're saying. I know what you're saying. It's the slippery slope argument is exactly what you're saying. And I know what you're saying, but at the same time, we're talking about a very specific subset of group of people over here. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how you can go see it. The big one that's come to light is Storm something. I can't remember what it's called right now. That's really the big one that's really caught the news. It's like I keep on thinking Stormloader because that's where our webpage used to be.
Cloudflare?
No, it's an alt-right website.
Oh.
And it's like Storm something, but I keep on getting confused because our website used to be hosted on Stormloader. Mm-hmm. But it's like Storm something is what it's called. And it's a very specific website, and that's really the big news right now. Daily Stormer, thank you.
No, the thing is, and I understand where you're coming from too, Nakamoto. The thing is, no,
we're not judging you, man.
No, I'm not judging at all. No, it's
we're
just
having
like
a good, peaceful discussion.
To make it more in like the nerdy gamer realm, it'd be like putting nerdy gamers, okay, and then saying that all nerds are nerdy gamers, mm-hmm. which of course is not true because the nerd's about like this big. And the nerdy gamers about like this big.
Oh, you put me in the nerdy gamers.
Some nerds are nerdy gamers, mm-hmm. but all nerdy gamers are nerds.
Yes, and I definitely don't think Republicans as a group are racist. I mean, that's not fair to say at all in the least. But it's just like, people on the left can be total assholes also, and very hateful people and promote violence. Mm-hmm. It's no different. If there's people, very specific subsets of people over here on the left, very specific subsets of people over here on the right, the repercussions can go both ways. It's just in this case, it's the very prominent one that's easy to point at is the alt-right because they were there with their whole, doing the Nazi salute and doing all that stuff very clearly and obviously. So no, I don't associate the alt-right with the Republicans. I mean, heck, that's why they call themselves the alt-right, is because because the Republican Party wasn't far enough to the right for their beliefs. So even they separated themselves.
Not all Republicans are far enough to the right. Let's just put that out there, because there will be some Republicans who fall into the alt-right, but not all of them will fall in.
Correct. It's kind of like a Venn diagram.
Yeah.
Like Charlie was saying. So no, I mean, I have no problem with Republicans. They're not all racist. I work with plenty who I love and I know are not. So I don't want to make this into like a who knew we'd get this far off? But it's not the left or the right or who. It's a very specific subset of the alt-right who are there at this event is really where this came to light. And this is really what's causing the news. There's very specific people.
Here, read Axel's thing and all.
So as Axel themselves, the Republican Party is huge. There are people who identify with them because of the conservative fiscal issues, some for the conservative social issues. Alt-right is not as large. They are a small group who has a single focus. Yep, definitely a single focus. And I think that's the hard part too of, we have these discussions of, the alt-right, and then people want to use this term, the alt-left, which really doesn't exist, is the nuance of it. And that's, kind of what you're talking about, Nakamoto, is the nuance of, the alt-right versus the Republican Party that's what happens in the age of Twitter. The 140 characters or less, where you're trying to make some profound point, is it becomes very easy to make these sweeping large generalizations, where all Republicans who voted for Trump are asshole racist. I don't believe that. But yet, there's definitely people who will say that. I don't agree very much with anything that Trump does, but people have their own reasons for voting for Trump that I don't know. But I'm sure that it'd be good to have a good dialogue with them, a peaceful dialogue, which is the key. And I don't think that they're racist either. I work with plenty of people who I know aren't racist who vote for Trump. That's fine. That's their own personal belief. But like Axel Thumb said, it's a very specific subsuit of people that we're talking about. Subset. I said subsuit, didn't I?
Yep.
Which isn't really a word.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe
it could be now.
Maybe you just made it, man. I don't know.
Anything you'd like to add, Mr. Charlie?
No, I think you basically covered it. I'm throwing something behind the scenes, so
Gotcha.
I apologize. I'm not 100%.
But this is. I'm glad you read these points, Nakamoto, because it's good to have a good, not confrontational discussion. I feel like that's missing a lot.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. I think going back kind of the Twitter thing. I mean, look at the Facebook comments. Anytime these discussions of just race or politics in general come like on Facebook.
Any disagreement,
it immediately jumps to you're a racist. Either you're a racist
sexist,
or you're a
you're
race
bigot.
baiter. It's either way. You're a race baiter or you're racist. There's like no in between. There's no nuance. And it's really frustrating. It's kind of like where liberal crooks. Yes. What was it? It's libtard. Every time I see libtard, I want to punch somebody in the face. I don't condone violence, but I'm like, really? That's what we've come down to, is calling people libtards. That's what we've got to. Like, stuff like that just pisses me off, because it takes away from being able to actually have an intelligent, thoughtful discussion with someone who has differing opinions than you. There's nothing wrong with having differing opinions. That's what makes America great.
Someone has opinions that differ from me?
I know, it's crazy.
What?
So, that's, and I hope that, at some point we can have these good, peaceful discussions. And, even look at the debates between the presidents and the vice presidents, as they come down a lot to sound bites. You have, they're not real debates. They're basically facts that they memorized beforehand that they can try to hopefully zing the other person at the right time. Mm-hmm. So even those debates by the president and VP and whatever, even those I find aggravating, because then you have to go back and fact check the hell out of them and be like, okay, is what I said actually accurate? I don't know. It's being able to sit down.
What's your definition of accurate?
Oh, good God. Urban Dictionary, man. They tell me the truth.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Don't rely on them. They tell you lies.
Lies! It's the internet, man. The internet lies. So that's my hope, that we can have a good, peaceful dialogue with people who aren't like us, who don't agree with us. You can still do that without resorting to violence. And that's, look at the MLK marches. That's why they're so freaking successful, is the lack of violence. and then you looked at what happened this weekend, and then you see the violence, with the groups and what happened and the car and all that stuff. And all that does is inflame tensions anytime you have violence like that. And it's unfortunate that it seems like a lot of these protests nowadays, from however it starts or however it ends, I don't even know the details, there seems to be that violent element. And the unfortunate part is, kind of with a lot of things, it's that fringe violent group. A lot of these groups, whether it's on the left or right, most of them are all peaceful. Most of them, they just want to be there, they just want to chill, they just want to have their voice heard. And then you get, this one person, this one or two people who probably don't even care what's going on or agree with what's going on. And those are the jackwagons who give the rest of that group that name. And that's the frustrating part to me.
All right, let's get on it. Let's take it up to a higher level. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to do a mad shout out to one of our amazing frequent friends and fans and moderators of the Altered Confusion Thursday or Altered Confusion Twitch stream, and that of course is Axthumb. Axthumb has just released, Axthumb under the name of Mad Hatter Worlds has just released a game onto the Google Play Store called UpJump.
Nice.
I'm going to tell you, this game hard. Hard. So basically, okay, so you're this smiley guy with the spring underneath him, okay?
Okay. He kind of reminds me of Pac-Man.
So basically what you're trying to do is you've got like a level in front of you. You've got these like platforms you got to jump. So you have 3 different areas that you can jump on the screen. One to jump left, the left-hand side of the screen, jump left. The middle, you jump up. The right side, you jump to the right. Now, trying to coordinate the ability of trying to get it just right, where you hit the platform, because some of these platforms will go down. Mutant emoji, just be calling him Bouncer. Okay, Bouncer. Okay. But you have to get it just right. And there's certain platforms that will start descending. There's some platforms that will move. There's also like platforms that'll start going up depending on how many times you jump, which has been the killer for me, because right off the bat, I had enough trouble trying to get past, I think it was like the first 2 platforms, but then there's one platform that every single time you jump, it gets higher and higher and higher, and then basically tries to squish you against the spikes at the top of the screen, and I died several times.
Those damn spikes.
But seriously, it's a very challenging game. I will fully admit that, and I definitely need more time to appreciate and play and maybe master the game. It is, like I said, it's on Google Play. Axthumb says there is plans for an iOS version. See you, Nakamoto. Be back next Thursday. He's gonna do an iOS version.
So is it free to play? Microtransaction?
Yeah, it's free to play. High score among his friends is 19. I think my high score was 5. It's hard.
You got
it's
some
really
work to
hard.
do, man.
Dude, it's hard. It's hard.
It's hard.
It's all about, you got to time it right. Plus, the jump, you basically got to land it right too.
Sure.
There's so many different like components. But anyways, definitely go to the Google Play Store and check out UpJump by Mad Hatter Worlds. So.
I like it. So are you going to continue to play the game and see how far can you get in the game?
Absolutely. Anytime that my wife's not utilizing my my Nexus as her Kindle, I will try to steal it away and a bumper sticker.
Yeah, I haven't turned on my Nexus in like a long time.
That's terrible, dude.
I should actually bring it to school. I could donate to our team. Yeah, we'll see.
All right, so once again, UpJump, Google Play Store. Get it.
Nice.
Free to play, folks. Free to play.
Free to play is the way to get.
All right, so I have one more topic. I know we're almost running out of time, but Zealeus and I had discussed this earlier, and I just want to throw it out there because I think it is an epidemic at this point. And that is, my friends, are we to the point where mobile games literally kill our batteries?
Yes.
Like seriously, like I am a sucker for like puzzle, like match 3 type games on my cell phone, and there's a couple new games on there that, holy crap, my battery will be like at 100, and I'll play this game for a bit, and then the next thing I know, it's down to 35%.
Then when I started playing, it's a shoot 'em up game called Hawk, which I'm really enjoying. But yeah, my battery gets zapped instantly in that game. Basically, with a lot of the mobile games now, unless I'm hooked up to my charger, I'm like, I don't know if I want to play it because my phone will be like you said, like at 35% when I'm done. I'm like, okay, now I have to charge it anyways because it doesn't help. My phone is 3 hours old, like 2.5 years old.
But also, just a side note, ladies and gentlemen, if you were worried about UpJump, have no fear. UpJump will not try to eat your battery. The game that I've been playing a lot of is a game called Tiles and Tails, and I think part of the reason is that it's actually like preloading a bunch of shit in the background, plus always trying to keep an active internet connection. So I think it's just eating my battery alive. Excuse me. I've been playing Tiles and Tails as well as, I don't even know what this game is. Hold on. Because it's a very simplistic title on my screen. I know it's a bigger title. Empires and Puzzles. Like I said, dude, I love the puzzle, like the match 3 puzzle games. That's me. Basically, as soon as I played Puzzle Quest, the first Puzzle Quest, that I thankfully, or ironically, actually got before the vast majority of Puzzle Quest was shipped back to the publisher because no one knew what the fuck it was, and then 2 weeks after, everyone figured it out what it was, all these stores had to pay to get them shipped back.
Nice.
But I actually was able to sneak in and get a copy before that happened, and ever since then I'm like, RPG elements with a match 3? You got me.
I think you should make one.
The thing is with Tiles and Tails, real quick. Tiles and Tails is basically, it is a match. Well, no, it's not a match 3. Basically, you have these tile. You've got this board. I don't know what the dimensions are, but you have this board, and after every single move, you get a new tile that shows up. But you can basically combine tiles by basically swiping everything to the left or to the right, and it changes the formation stuff. And of course, the accumulation of points does an attack or heals or unlocks a chest or something like that. But the problem is that as you go further into the game, you're gonna have to be careful because if you fill up all the spots, half of your max health is taken away.
Ooh.
So, for that round. Anyways, so we're literally getting to the point where I was with my Game Gear, where the only time I was able to play my Game Gear was when I was plugged into a freaking wall, because otherwise, those 6 AA batteries stood no chance of lasting more than maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours max. So, I mean, I understand we have a very powerful machine right here. It's a mini computer, but
yes. Battery degradation doesn't help either.
No, of course not.
Because as you get your phone older, it's just less capacity. It's just a fact of life.
And the thing is, the manufacturers aren't going to improve the battery at all. They have no point because what they've made is they've made a phone.
It's disposable.
Well, no, they've created a product that allows you to make a phone call, and there's added bonuses that you can there's added capabilities that you can utilize. However, that's not the base functionality of said device.
I thought it was the other way around. No, it's a gaming device that happens to be able to make phone calls.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, my phone's changed its purpose.
No. Well, no.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, so it pisses me off. At the same time, there's some phenomenal games out there, but also the other thing is that my chargers, because I've got a Mophie, I've got the backup battery, so that gives me a little bit more leeway. However, the charger, the port that I charge in is pretty finicky, so you got to get it just right.
It's that micro USB, right?
Yeah,
that's why.
But you got to get it
worst port
just
ever.
right.
Yeah, those ports are notorious.
So, anyways,
that's why I had to replace my old Android phone because same exact port and the port just died.
Because you're just yanking out and pulling it, and then the weight and all that shit.
Yeah, it's a terrible port.
Anyways,
it was not meant for that type of.
No. That aggressiveness. All right, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we have reached the end of our show, so we're going to have a little new exit screen. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank everyone for tuning into the Ultra Fusion Thursday Night Hangout. I hope that you all enjoyed the conversation. Of course, at any time between now and the next show, you can add any topics or questions or anything that you'd like to have in the show by hitting us up via Facebook, Ultra Fusion, Twitter at UltraConfusio. That's UltraConfusion without the N because the N
would blow up Charlie's computer.
Thank you. You can also reach out to us on YouTube at UltraConfusion LLC, which, by the way, I know that last week's Thursday Night Hangout is not up, and the previous week's Thursday Night Hangout is not up. And the reason for 2 weeks ago's Thursday, or 3 weeks ago Thursday Night Hangout, I don't even remember now, not being up is I'm actually kind of scared of that one because that was me literally flying by the seat of my pants. And
Do it anyway.
I really don't remember what the hell I said there.
It's even better then.
All right, fine. But anyways, you hit us up on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, of course, twitch.tv/UltraConfusion. And of course, you can hit us up on our website, www.ultraconfusion.com. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for tuning in to the UltraConfusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving you everything coming out of our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. Will be back next Thursday for another amazing Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.